Good evening, wherever you are in the world. Once again, welcome to this Fire Media's podcast, Market and the Media. We are your one-stop shop for all of your media needs: websites, brands, commercials, press kits, flyers, ads, animation, photography, videography, you name it, we do it. Today, we have an amazing guest, a wonderful and magnificent person from the Bay Area, the San Francisco Bay Area, but now is one of the dopest and the flyest image consultants in the city of Atlanta. Welcome, Miss McGowan. How you doing?
Thank you, Will, for that introduction. I am amazing. How are you?
I'm doing well. Excited about our interview today. Why don't you go ahead and just tell us just a little bit about yourself and what you do?
Yes, well, first, thank you so much for having me. I know we've talked a lot about this opportunity, so I'm just excited to be on this platform and really proud of the work you're doing. So just wanted to start by saying that. So thank you again for allowing me to be on your platform. So again, my name is Krysta McGowan, originally from the east side of San Jose, California. That is where I grew up, and ended up going to Clark Atlanta University for fashion and also business. And my career has been a little kind of windy road. Worked in aerospace, technology, retail, but throughout my journey, my passion for fashion has always been the underlying theme. And so I was able to start my image consulting firm after working in corporate for a little bit. And I know we'll talk a little bit more about my journey, but as an image consultant, my role is really just to help people look and feel good and show up as their best selves on a consistent basis. So that's kind of it in a nutshell, and then we can dig deeper as we keep talking.
Absolutely. I had to pop my collar a little bit. I feel like we both came through looking good, so that's a good thing. Absolutely. Give me a little insight. What is an image consultant?
Yes, that is a great question, because I feel like when I tell people I'm an image consultant, they'll say, oh, great, but they don't really know exactly what an image consultant does. So for a very brief description, we guide and provide insight to individuals on different aspects of how they show up every day. So it could be on your appearance, on your behavior, the way that you communicate. Even online, we provide guidance there. And so for me, I focus on the ABCDs of your personal brand. So again, that's your appearance, literally from your wardrobe to how your makeup is, your hair, things of that nature, your behavior. Again, how do you show up when you walk into a room? What is your posture like? Understanding eye contact. How do you shake someone's hand? That first impression. Communication, talking about body language, your tone. What is the inflection in your voice? Are you charismatic? Things like that to consider. And then, of course, your digital footprint, which is something fairly new with this new age of social media, is how do you show up online, and does your personal and professional brand align with who that individual is on the web?
Absolutely. And this may answer that question somewhat, or your answer may have already, but how do people benefit from the business? Because I know that there's there was a little bit of a gap for me. So I'd like an image consultant, I'd like for somebody to, critique my comings and goings. And it sounds like something that's really beneficial. But in your words, how do people benefit from an image consultant?
Absolutely. So I think everyone can benefit from an image consultant, no matter if you are in early career or even if you're a seasoned professional. A lot of times people think image consultants are only for politicians or C-suite, corporate executives or celebrities, but really at any stage of your career, you can use someone to help polish your image to get you to that next level. So when you talk about the benefits, there are tangible and intangible benefits. So first, I want to just touch on the intangibles, which the number one benefit that I'll say with the clients that I work with is confidence. And confidence in knowing that you are showing up at work every day, whether it's a networking event or you're giving a big presentation, whether you're going to an event and you're the keynote speaker, but making sure your wardrobe is on point. You have your bold colors in place. You know that silhouette fits your body type and you look good when you're on that stage. That confidence is going to help you show up better. It's going to help you speak better. You're just different, right? When you walk into a room, you have that haircut, you got your beard, how you walk into a room is different when like, oh, I look a little rough, or
Yeah.
you just show up differently. So that's definitely the intangible. But that confidence then leads to some of the tangible benefits, such as promotions at work. Now you're having more opportunities to be in front of those decision makers, those C-suite executives. You're invited to those board meetings because of your image, because of your reputation, and how you're showing up. So again, promotions, which leads to more money, more opportunities. Even on a personal level, I've worked with women who were recently divorced or wanted to start dating. And so we're like, okay, let's look at your wardrobe and figure out on a social aspect how you can look and feel good and be more confident when going out. So even from a relationship standpoint, and being able to just date again and feel more confident when you're in that space. So there's a lot of benefits. And again, on the personal, professional level, on the social level, and it all boils down to you showing up as your best self consistently.
Your best self. That's amazing. Quick question. So, would somebody would I get like a male image consultant, or do people do both male and female consulting?
Yeah, you can do male and female. I worked with both men and women. It's just understanding that particular style and being able to assist them in that way. But certainly you can work with a male or female.
Why is a personal brand important?
So your personal brand is important because that is essentially who you are. I love the way that Jeff Bezos describes it. And whenever I give a workshop, I always quote him, but he says that your personal brand is what people say about you when you're not in the room. And essentially it's what you're known as, right? So if I randomly came across your podcast and I'm like, I know Will, your personal brand is pretty strong. I know you work in media. I know you're professional, et cetera. You're educated. But now on the flip side, if it's like Will's always late or he's raggedy, for lack of a better word, that is your personal brand. So having that image consultant to help you polish that personal brand. I know Krysta's going to look good when she shows up. Let me throw her in. I've been asked to represent CAU on many occasions because they know I'm going to come correct. I'm going to dress well. I'm going to speak well. I'm going to greet people, smile, have good eye contact. And essentially that's why it's important to have a strong personal brand, is because it's how people speak about you when you're not in the room, and it can create great opportunities for you if you're a business owner. Again, having your name spoken in rooms when you're not there. That network, right, we know that your network is your net worth. And so being able to have your personal brand just precede you is extremely important. And a lot of times people say, well, you can't judge a book by its cover. I just want my work to speak for me. But essentially, we are a very judgmental and very visual creatures. So it's just natural for us to judge. And it's not anything that we do on purpose. Again, it's very natural. And so within the first, it used to be 7 seconds, but now it's like 3 to 5 that we've already created a judgment on that individual, whether it's someone that is coming for a job opportunity or a potential employer, someone that we might be looking to work with or hire. And so having that strong personal brand, again, from your appearance, how you behave, communicate, etc., is extremely important.
Amazing. How'd you get into doing this?
So it's very interesting because I didn't even know this was a career. So if you would have asked me in high school or even my freshman year of college, I didn't know what an image consultant was. So I started off in fashion with doing wardrobe styling. So I did study fashion merchandising at Clark Atlanta University, and I did visual merchandising for J. Crew as well as Neiman Marcus. So that's kind of how I got started in dressing people. And then I ventured out and started my business, right? And I was working primarily with women who were in corporate America that would do speaking engagements, travel a lot, so I would dress them. But then I noticed that there was still a gap, and that they would look great, they would show up amazing, but sometimes the way that they would interact with people, it was like something was missing. And that's when I wanted to focus on that holistic approach of their full image to say, okay, how can I further help my clients so that they can show up fully as their whole self and be confident in that. So that's when I started focusing on the behavior, the communication, and then got the certification. So it really started off with just clothes because I've always loved fashion, and then wanted to focus on the whole individual.
Wow. Would you, would you approach image consulting the same for like a politician as you would a teacher?
So when I do my consultations, I always ask, what is your goal? As a professional, whether this is a personal goal, and that really drives how I would approach working with this individual. So yes, whether you're a politician or whether you're a school teacher, you will ultimately have a goal. It might be different, right? So your wardrobe is going to be different. A teacher might be interacting with kids, whether it's small children, or you might want to be a little bit more comfortable if you have high schoolers and you're out walking around with them, versus a politician who wants to be extremely polished in a suit, maybe a darker suit to be a little bit more conservative. But if you show up in that dark suit on day one of the school, your students might not even want to approach you. They might not feel that they can relate to you, right? Because you're showing up in this suit and they're like, oh, I don't trust this individual. They don't look like me, or they don't look like they can relate to my story. So it ultimately depends on your day-to-day job, what you do in and out of your home, and just making sure that that brand aligns with your personal and professional life.
Wow. Drop a gem. That you dropped a gem before about the ABCs.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me a little bit more about that, or can you reiterate that, the ABCs of imagery or
professional branding? Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. ABCDs, and the D's are new. So the A is going to be your appearance. So that is your wardrobe, essentially. There are people that focus on hair, makeup, etc., but my primary expertise is on your wardrobe. What is your body type? What are your power colors? What silhouettes work best for you? And especially after COVID, some of our bodies have changed, or as women, our bodies change significantly, after a certain age or after you might have a baby. And so we go through that cycle quite often of, how do I make sure that I'm still looking and feeling my best in what I'm. So that's the A, is your appearance. Then B is your behavior. That's essentially, how do you show up in a room? What is your posture like? Things that we don't always think about is, how are we standing? Do we have a power stance, and are we conscious of what that is? When we're presenting, are we fidgeting? Are there certain things that we tend to do when we get nervous? When we shake hands, are we giving good eye contact? Is it a solid handshake? What different behaviors can we practice to show up and show that confidence? Because if we're not confident in ourselves, the people that we're interacting with are not going to be confident in us either. And then for C, that's communication. And so 7% of communication are your words. That other 93% is going to be the tone, and that's going to be your body language. So even when we're not speaking and saying the actual words, we're saying something. So just being conscious of that communication style and how to improve, that's going to be your C. And then lastly, the D is your digital footprint, which is how you show up online. What does your LinkedIn look like? Your Instagram, your Facebook, because now employers are starting to look online and they'll Google you. You give them a resume, they're Googling your name and they're seeing what shows up. Sure. So you might have to think about deleting some of those college albums, those when we used to put everything online.
Deleted a few.
Huh?
I've deleted a few, trust me.
Oh, absolutely. Me too. Because I'm like, you know what? The people do not need to see this anymore. So just, how you show up online, that digital footprint. Sure.
If you were to give some advice to a man, what's the difference between like a power tie or like power colors and just regular? I don't know. What's a power color? I don't know anything about it. So
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, give me some good game here.
So for the men, I love seeing a man in a suit, number one. So, number one, get a suit, get a full suit. The advice that I would give is get a suit and get it tailored, because having a well-tailored suit, no matter what color it is, it could be a black suit, a gray suit, a navy suit, which you should start with those three colors, gray being the first color you should get because it's the most versatile in terms of your shoes, your belt, and what you can wear it with. So start with the charcoal gray suit, but get it tailored, and it's not that expensive. Go to your local cleaners or alterations place and just get it taken in a little bit. But I would say that would be the first thing that I would do. Next thing is do not follow trends. Trends can be very distracting. So I know at one point the men, you guys like to wear the suit pants where your socks are showing. That's not good etiquette professionally. Your socks should only show when you're sitting down. So if I can see your socks when you're standing up, it's not good. It's an ill-fitting suit.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's something to think about. The sizing makes a huge difference. And I know a couple people, again, gained some pounds through COVID. So just making sure that you're not pulling too much, because that can ultimately be very distracting. But I know I gave like 3 tips, but my first one would be invest in a well-fitted suit, get it tailored, and get a charcoal gray suit.
Amazing.
Number one.
Amazing. I don't want to, and I know we can do this forever, but I just wanted to give people a taste of what you do and who you are. Can you give us your website and your socials? They'll be listed in the comments below, so people, all of our audience, you'll be able to see and contact her at your whim and your wish. But would you mind just giving them to us?
Absolutely. So LinkedIn is probably the best way to reach out to me. So you can find me through my name, Krysta McGowan, on LinkedIn, or Critique Consulting on Instagram, as well as Facebook. And then my website is going to be critiqueconsulting.com. And it's spelled exactly how it should be. So no special letters, just Critique Consulting.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Do you have some final words for us?
Ooh, final words. Yes, be authentic. At the end of the day, your personal brand is like a fingerprint. So embrace your individuality. That's going to be your superpower, is your individuality at your core. So although there are trends, there are tips that I would provide as an image consultant, ultimately your confidence will show when you are being your true and authentic self. And I just encourage you to embrace that, find out who you are at your core, and let that be your superpower.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And as I continue the rest of the day, I will take a lot of this into consideration and get my superpowers going.
Let's go.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Once again, thank you so much for being a guest on our show. And I'd love to have you on again and have you do some back and forth with some different individuals in terms of branding and imagery. Would you be open to that?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yes.
Have an amazing rest of the day, and we shall talk soon.
Thank you, Will. Thank you again for the opportunity, and I look forward to doing this again.
Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. Bye-bye.